Hi everyone! Welcome back to my channel. Remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to turn on that post notification bell so that you won't miss a video, and tell your friends and loved ones about Willoz Creations YouTube channel. Today's vlog is all about packaging. Before I dive in, I wanted to share something I'm excited about. I made my own logo and designed my own business cards. Also, I still have this thank you card I got from Temu a while back, which inspired me to always add a little personal touch to my orders. If you'd like to purchase any of the products, feel free to check the description box below for the details. I will try my best to find as many products as possible. While I pack, I'll also share a few little stories. Some of them are mine, and some are just random crafter stories. As crafters, we've all had our moments, and I'm sure you might find yourself nodding along at some of these too. Let's get started. The cards are already finished, and now it's time to slip them into envelopes, seal them up, and get them ready for shipping. Here's the stack of cards I'll be working with today. I like to organize them neatly on my desk, so I can pick them at random as I go. Each card is paired with its envelope, and I have my plastic sleeves ready to slide them into. These sleeves help protect the cards, especially in case of rain or other mishaps during shipping. Beside me, I have my business cards, thank you cards and stickers, and extra sentiments ready to include in every envelope. Keeping everything nearby helps the workflow feel smooth and calming. I start by sliding a card into its plastic sleeves, making sure it fits neatly. Then I add my business card, a small thank you sticker, and an extra sentiment to give a personal touch. Once everything is tucked in, I slide the card into a plastic sleeve for protection. Pressing the sleeve flat keeps the card looking perfect and ready for shipping. As I work through the stack, I'm reminded of some funny crafter stories. Like one person who accidentally glued an embellishment upside down and decided to keep it that way. It became their signature style. Or the crafter who had a cat step on wet glue, leaving glitter paw prints all over their cards. It's always fun to hear these stories, and they remind me that mistakes can sometimes turn into something creative. The repetitive motion of sliding envelopes, adding business cards and stickers, and securing the plastic sleeves is oddly relaxing. Sometimes inspiration even strikes during this part of the process. I've gotten ideas for new card designs while packaging orders. I also like to imagine the journey each card will take from my studio through the post office and out into the world. Whether it's going to someone's birthday celebration, tucked into a gift bag, or mailed as a simple thank you, it's exciting to think about the joy these cards might bring. Some days, packaging feels like a meditative routine, and other days it's a little chaotic, but even the little hiccups, like accidentally misplacing a sticker or forgetting to tuck in a sentiment, become funny stories later. One crafter I read about spilled tea on a desk full of cards. They quickly learned to keep drinks away from the work area. I continue working through the stack, ensuring that each envelope is carefully sealed, each plastic sleeve is pressed flat, and every business card and thank you sticker is included. The extra sentiment tucked inside each envelope adds a personal note, which I hope makes the recipient smile when they open it. It's satisfying to see the pile of packaged cards grow, each one prepared with care, ready to bring joy to someone else. The process may be repetitive, but it's also rewarding.
It all started on a rainy afternoon. I had decided that this would be the perfect day to try a new set of greeting card designs I had been sketching for weeks. The rain pattered gently against the window, a soft, steady rhythm that made the studio feel warm and cozy. I put on some music, something spiritual, instrumental, the kind that lets your mind meditate, and I arranged all my supplies on the desk. I had stacks of cardstock in every color imaginable, pale pastels, bold jewel tones, and a few metallic sheets that shimmered when the light hit just right. I had my embossing folders, scissors, stamps, inks, stickers, and a jar of tiny embellishments like sequins and pearls. Everything was neatly organized, or so I thought. The first card went smoothly. I carefully embossed the design, pressed it into place, and admired the texture. It looked exactly how I had imagined it. Encouraged, I moved on to the next one. That's when it happened. I reached for a tiny jar of sequins and knocked it over. Hundreds of tiny, colorful discs spilled across the table, rolling in every direction. Some fell to the floor, bouncing under the desk. others scattered into the edges of my cutting mat. I sighed, laughing at myself. I had always heard crafters talk about the messy day, but this was my first real encounter with it. I started picking up sequins, but as I did, my cat jumped onto the table, of course, right in the middle of the chaos. In a flash, sequins scattered further, some landing on the floor, some sticking to my cat's paws, and a few even landing on the wet ink of a card I had just finished. I froze. Would it ruin it? To my surprise, the sequins landed in a pattern that actually looked artistic, like accidental confetti. I laughed, realizing this might be the happiest accident I had ever had. I even took a photo to remember it, a reminder that crafting doesn't have to be perfect to be beautiful. As I continued, the rain picked up outside. The sound of it hitting the roof was oddly motivating. I poured myself a cup of tea and carefully placed it on a separate table, determined not to repeat earlier mistakes. I picked up a new cardstock sheet and started cutting, gluing, and stamping. Every so often, I would glance at my cat, who had now settled among the rolls of ribbon and lace, watching me like a little studio assistant. Then, another mishap. A bottle of embossing powder tipped slightly as I leaned over, scattering fine gold dust over my desk. It shimmered under the light like a tiny galaxy had exploded across my workspace. Instead of panicking, I grabbed a small brush and swept the powder onto a card. It gave it a sparkling border I hadn't planned. Another happy accident. By the time I looked at the clock, hours had passed. My hands were glittered. My cat had a few sequins stuck in her fur, and the floor was a rainbow of tiny embellishments. But the stack of finished cards looked incredible. Each card had its own character, and some of them had accidental touches that gave them personality, like the story of that first sequin disaster. I realized that day that crafting isn't just about control or perfection. It's about allowing room for accidents, for unexpected beauty, and even for the little interruptions, like a curious cat or a rainy afternoon. The studio felt alive with creativity, laughter, and a sense of discovery. I carefully packaged the cards in envelopes, added plastic sleeves for protection, and even included extra sentiments in business cards. Every card told a story, not just of its design, but of the chaotic, joyful, and surprisingly perfect process behind it. When I finally boxed them up and looked at the pile ready for shipping, I felt proud. Not because everything had gone perfectly, but because I had embraced the mess, the accidents, and the fun. And that's when I realized some of the best crafting days are the ones that don't go according to plan at all. It started on a quiet morning in the studio. I had just received a huge shipment of new cardstock, colors I hadn't used before, textures that looked almost like fabric, and a few sheets with metallic patterns that shimmered in the light. I unpacked everything and stacked it on my desk, carefully sorting by color and thickness. As I reached for a sheet of deep burgundy paper, I noticed something odd. Tucked in between the stack was a single sheet I didn't recognize. It was smooth, almost silky, and had a faint gold border. I didn't remember ordering it. Curious, I ran my fingers over it. The texture was different, almost magical in a way. I decided to make it the star of a card design. I pulled out my stamps, inks, and embellishments, laying everything carefully on the desk. I experimented with patterns, trying different layouts, moving tiny embellishments back and forth until I found the perfect balance. Each time I stepped back, I noticed a small detail I could tweak, perhaps a tiny sequin here or a swirl of ink there. As I worked, I thought about the origin of this mysterious sheet. Did it come from a kind stranger? Was it a bonus from the supplier? I didn't know, but somehow, it felt like the universe had handed me a gift, and I wanted to honor it in the design. By the time the card was finished, it felt elegant, unexpected, and full of character. I tucked it into an envelope with a plastic sleeve for protection and added my business card and thank you sticker. Every time I looked at it, I smiled. This experience reminded me that crafting is full of surprises. Sometimes the most special creations come from unplanned moments, a mystery piece of paper, or a small accident that turns into something beautiful. As the day continued, I packaged other cards, occasionally glancing at that single golden-edged sheet. It reminded me to stay curious, to embrace the unexpected, and to let every little detail inspire creativity. By the end of the day, all the cards were ready to ship, each one carrying a bit of that mystery and magic. It was a day when I thought I would get just a few cards finished, but somehow, I ended up in the middle of what I now call the glitter avalanche. I had opened a jar of loose glitter, planning to sprinkle just a small amount on a few designs. But as I leaned over the desk, the jar slipped from my hands. Glitter went everywhere, across the desk, on the floor, even sticking to my cat's fur, who had come to inspect the commotion. I laughed, realizing that no matter how careful I was, glitter had its own mind. It shimmered in every corner, catching the sunlight that came through the studio window. Instead of panicking, I decided to incorporate the mess. I grabbed some of the scattered glitter and pressed it gently onto a card I was working on. Surprisingly, it looked amazing. The irregular patterns gave the card a unique, sparkling texture, and I realized that mistakes could become design opportunities. The next hour was filled with glitter chaos and creativity. I worked slowly, carefully scooping stray glitter onto cards, and occasionally shaking some into tiny jars to save for later. Every movement was deliberate, yet playful. I imagined each sparkle as a tiny piece of joy that would travel with the card to someone's hands. As I packaged the cards into envelopes and plastic sleeves, I added my business cards and thank you stickers, but I also included a tiny extra sentiment on a scrap of glittered paper, almost like a hidden treasure. I imagined the recipient opening it, seeing the little sparkle, and feeling a sense of surprise and delight. By the end of the day, the floor was glittered, my hands were glittered, and even the cat had a faint shimmer in her fur. But the cards were ready, sparkling in their sleeves, and each one carried a story. Sometimes crafting isn't just about perfection, it's about embracing the mess and letting it turn into something magical. One weekend, I decided to dedicate the entire day to finishing as many cards as possible. I called it my studio marathon. I started early in the morning, arranging all my supplies: cardstock, inks, stamps, ribbons, and embellishments. I made a pot of tea and settled in, ready for a full day of creativity. The first few hours were smooth. I cut, stamped, and assembled cards in a steady rhythm, occasionally stopping to admire a color combination or add a tiny embellishment. The studio was quiet except for the sound of scissors and the occasional sip of tea. As the day progressed, I began to feel the marathon's rhythm, like a gentle flow that kept me moving, focused and creative. Some cards went exactly as planned, while others had little surprises. A ribbon slightly crooked, a stamp smudged, or an embellishment landing in the perfect unexpected spot. Each mistake added character. Around mid-afternoon, I hit a point where I needed a break. I looked around and realized I had completed over a dozen cards already. I paused, stretching my hands, and admired the stack of finished work. Each card told a little story, whether it was planned or accidental. After the break, I returned to the desk with renewed energy. I packaged the cards, sliding them into envelopes and plastic sleeves, adding my business cards, thank you stickers, and extra sentiments. With each card packed, I imagined it traveling to a new home, a new celebration, or a simple moment of joy for someone. By the end of the studio marathon, I had completed and packaged over 30 cards. My hands were tired, my eyes a little sore, but the sense of accomplishment was immense. It reminded me that crafting isn't just about the finished product, it's about the journey, the process, and the small stories that happen along the way. The studio marathon also reminded me to be patient and gentle with myself, to embrace imperfections, and to savor the little victories in each card completed. That day, every card was not just a piece of paper, it was a piece of a story, a memory, and a little spark of creativity ready to be shared.
I sat down with the cards. I can already feel the satisfaction of knowing these little handmade pieces are heading to new homes. There's something so rewarding about packaging everything up, like I'm wrapping small gifts that are filled with love and creativity. I start by lining the cards neatly on the table. Each one gets its own final touch, a thank you sticker, and my business card tucked carefully inside the envelope. Sometimes I'll even slip in an extra sentiment, just a little surprise for the customer to use later. It's my way of saying thank you, and also giving them a small piece of inspiration. After finishing the stack of cards, I pulled out a medium flat rate box that I picked up from the post office. I always keep a few on hand because they're sturdy, reliable, and they ship at a flat cost no matter how heavy the package is, which makes them perfect for a large order like this. First, I flip the box over and carefully tape the bottom shut. I always run one long piece of packing tape straight across, then add 2 other long strips along the middle. That way, I know the box will hold strong even if it's tossed around during shipping. Next, I grabbed a small piece of cardboard and slid it onto the bottom of the box. This is a little trick I like to use for extra security. It gives the base an extra layer of protection so the envelopes don't bend or get pressed against the bottom. Just a little step that helps me sleep better knowing everything is safe. As I continued stacking the finished packages, I realized the pile was taller than I expected. When I pulled out the medium shipping box I had set aside, I thought it would be plenty of room. But as I started placing the mailers inside, I quickly noticed this was going to be a tight fit. One by one, I tried arranging them neatly, first flat, then standing upright, then at an angle. For a moment, it felt like I was playing a real-life game of Tetris, sliding each envelope around, trying to make them all fit perfectly. I even paused, stepped back, and looked at the box from above, as if the right angle would magically appear. A few times, I thought I had it figured out, only for another stack of envelopes to stubbornly sit on top, refusing to go in. Finally, after a bit of wiggling, adjusting, and gently pressing down, the last envelope slid into place. I let out a little sigh of relief and laughed to myself. The box was packed so snugly that not a single card would shift around during shipping. I sealed the box shut with a long strip of tape, pressing firmly across the top. It felt almost like tucking the cards in safely for their journey.
Once all the cards are individually packaged, I gather them into a medium shipping box. I add padding to make sure nothing shifts during transit. I double-check that every envelope is neatly sealed and that my business cards and thank you stickers are visible. The extra sentiments make each package feel special and personal. Finally, I close the box, seal it, and attach the shipping label. It's ready to head to the post office. I love imagining these cards traveling to new homes and brightening someone's day. And that's a wrap for today's studio vlog. All the cards are carefully packed, including business cards, thank you stickers, and extra sentiments ready for shipping. Thank you so much for joining me in the studio. If you'd like to purchase any of my handmade cards, check the description box below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Happy crafting!